Celtic Ligers. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 20th of February 2024.
Welcome to Celtic Ligers.
Yeah, this is the 20th of February 2024.
Yeah, 20th anniversary.
Of?
I think we'll still be doing this in 20 years. Yes.
Probably.
The answer is
Probably.
yes. What'll it be like? What'll the world be like?
Well, if Putin gets his way, who knows? Huh?
Yeah. Putin gets his way, Fine Gael will still be in power. You know, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael will still be in power.
They'll have merged into the one party, so they'll be called Fianna Fáil. Fianna.
Yeah. They'll be called
Yeah.
Pale Gay. I keep listening to Blink-182.
Yeah?
You know anything about Blink-182?
What's my age again? Sort of, not really. I mean, I know like the kind of hits, and I know.
Yeah, that's all you
And I
need to
know Mark
But,
Hoppus, and then the Tom DeLonge, who's like into UFOs now.
Yeah. I keep listening to it, and it's like what BDSM must be like. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so painful, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, it's so nostalgic. And then I think, oh, they're still doing this. They're still releasing albums. And I get so depressed. I don't know. Like, it's just so of an era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, and then they're just still doing it. Like, I was reading recent interviews with them, and they're just like, you know, we still have stuff to say. We just had to get the thing back together, release another album. Like, they've released 9 albums or something like that. And then I was watching videos of them, like their recent performances, and they're just, you know, it's just them in like Indonesia. Crowd's going wild. They're playing What's My Age again. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's just, they were so ephemeral. They were so big, and then they were so of the moment. The fact that they're still doing it is very depressing to me. You know, like,
I when I was in secondary school, I like loved Green Day, and then they released American Idiot, and then I remember being like, this is weird, the stupid ties and the mascara, and I'm like, kind of, but whatever, this is political. I'm like active. I hate George Bush. American Idiot, yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. And then I remember being in a hallway, and then somebody saw I was listening to that album, because I had a very strategic. I hadn't strategically placed it. I was just listening to music between classes, and somebody asked, what was I listening to? And then I said, Green Day, and then the American Idiot.
I'm listening to the Song of Revolution.
I'm listening to the Shins.
Yeah. I love that album.
What, the Shins or American Idiot?
American Idiot.
Yeah, no, it's a good, it is a good album.
It's not. It's so fucking stupid, but I love it.
Well, I actually,
when I first heard it,
yeah,
I was like getting angry, you know?
I remember not really liking the album, and I thought it was a little, but I there was some songs on it which I was like, oh, this is cool, because I'd never had, I think it was my first concept album, you know? So the 2 massive, like 12-minute long tracks, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, where it's a big medley of songs. Yeah. I suddenly felt very like, wow, this kind of, and some of the medley was good, and then some of it was really bad. Yeah. But I like being on a journey with a song where it's like, oh, I don't like this bit, I just have to weather this, but now it's onto a good bit again. And so I liked all of that, and then some of them were like I'm trying to remember. I always skipped When September Ends. I was like, fuck yourselves. I really didn't like when Americans felt sorry for themselves over 9/11. I was like, I don't have any time for you. You know, even at that age, I was like, fuck you. Because that was such a big thing of those liberal things. They would be like, man, this damn war, we shouldn't have gone there, but we can all agree, never forget September the 11th, all those lives lost. And I was like, fuck off, shut up, get over it.
Yeah.
That's, and then Boulevard of Broken Dreams, I like that.
Classic song.
Even though apparently it's the same as Wonderwall.
I don't think this is shows how stupid I was. I don't think I understood any of that. Like when you were like, Wake Me Up When September Ends is about 9/11. I never thought. When you said that, I was like, oh, right, yeah, I guess it was. Like it didn't occur.
It's funny because Zainab was the same. I said that to Zainab. She's like, oh yeah, September the 11th. I was like, I mean, it's called American Idiot and it's clearly targeted at George Bush. And then one of the songs is about like, I don't want to deal with September. I just wake me up when it's over because it's so traumatic. It was such an awful time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think I remember not getting like American Idiot. I was like, because Americans are idiots. Like,
yeah.
Not that it was George Bush. It was like, because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah. We should actually do an episode on American Idiot because there's been like, it still remained quite active because they changed the lyrics recently to be about Trump. Did you see that?
No,
yeah.
I didn't see that.
It was at a live show.
Let me see. Let me get the lyrics up. Wake me up.
But I remember this girl asked like, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And I said, "American Idiot." And then she's like, "You still listen to that?" I was like, "Yeah, what's wrong with them?" I getting very defensive about Green Day, and she's like, "Well, they're like in their 40s and they're still doing that, trying to pretend that they're like teenage punks."
Yeah,
and
never dies.
It destroyed me actually. That when she said that, I just tried to brush it off, but I could not get over it. That album just died that day for me. I couldn't I came back to it years later, and I was like, oh, that was a fun time when I got that for my 16th birthday or whatever it was. But yeah, I couldn't. Their whole mascara thing, I was real checked out in them after that.
Yeah. Why did they start wearing mascara?
I think it was literally like
they were gay or something.
Yeah, that was it. No, they like when I saw that, I was like, this is like Avril Lavigne. This is just like created what's the word when you manufactured punk band.
Yeah.
And that's really what it was. I mean, they were always manufactured punk anyway, but
were they?
Before there was that kind of I guess a texture to them. It kind of felt like scrapbook and kind of like like the Dookie album cover, and then Warning. Do people like
I never liked
Minority?
Dookie. I thought it was rude to call an album that when I was young.
Yeah. The Basket Case music video as well, you're like, oh.
I never saw it.
Do you
remember the American Idiot lyrics? I want to see if I can guess what they changed the lyrics to. Well, maybe I'm a F word, America.
Yeah.
I'm not part of a redneck agenda. I bet it's MAGA agenda, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Boom. Now everybody do the propaganda. Does it change any of the other lyrics?
I don't know. I feel like if he did, somebody would be described as orange, That would be...
Now everybody do the Putin propaganda and sing along with the age of Putin paranoia.
Is that what he says?
No. Let me see. American Idiot new lyrics. I think the best diss of Trump by a mile was
Michael Shannon?
No, M&M's. That was sucked. So it was crazy. Like obviously I'm not one of those guys who's like he's the greatest fucking rap, but he can write rap music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like But that was like, do you remember? I was like, "That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it in Donald Trump's lap or something like that?"
I remember that I didn't really watch it. All I know is that like they have this kind of roaming camera, and he's in like a car park that could easily be a set, and then he starts trying to freestyle, and then he like fucks up the freestyle and has to start again.
Yeah.
Was like, well, it's over. That's really embarrassing. And I never liked never liked his flow. I hate his fucking voice, and all the stuff that he raps about is just like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I never thought he was particularly clever.
I like some of his songs, but
like what? Like fucking what?
Yeah, name one.
Yeah,
I like one of the ones off his new album. Everyone should know I have a very bad taste in music. But he has one called Godzilla that I like.
Well, I know that he did the Venom song, Venom, Venom.
Yeah.
And then he also did, what's that one? Cleaning Out My Closet. I remember I liked that one.
Yeah.
I liked the remix. I didn't like the...
I don't think I liked how he wasn't nice to his mum. I think that used to sort of upset me. Yeah.
Here's
my childhood was just me listening to music and getting upset when they weren't polite, I mean, the Real Slim Shady, that's a good song.
Sometimes it's like the strength of the sample really sells those,
Yeah, but that's the song,
Is that...
Yeah. I want to find the new lyrics to a song.
I mean, here's the Michael Shannon dunk, if anybody wanted to know. When asked if he would ever want to play Trump, Shannon responded simply, no. Just to get inside his head, he talked about being fascinated by bad men who are suffering, the magazine asked, to which Shannon replied, how do you mean? How is he suffering? He's having the time of his life. He doesn't even have to work. All the hard work that most people have to do to get to be president of the United States, he just skipped all that. The fucking guy doesn't even know what's in the Constitution. He doesn't have any grasp of history or politics or law or anything. He's just blindfolded, throwing darts at the side of a bus. The actor also had scoffed at the suggestion of having empathy towards the president. What is there to be empathetic about, he remarked. When asked about what he thinks goes through Trump's mind at night, Shannon simply didn't pull any punches. He's probably thinking, I want some fucking pussy. I don't know. I'm not going to remotely contemplate the notion that Trump is capable of deep reflection. I just really like that.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, get in his head. What is he? So evil. He's so sinister. And then Shannon's like, no, he's not. He's just a fucking idiot. Like, I don't even want to think about him. He's not even worth thinking about. Fuck him.
But that's funny. Cause I can't remember who it was. There's some journalists and they were interviewing Trump, and they were trying to. It was exactly that. I was like, "What do you think goes through his head?" And they were like, "Let me see if I can find it." It was like, they go to him, "What goes through your head when you're? What goes to?" It's like, "What goes through your head when you're just thinking?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And then he goes like, "I'll say like, what goes through your head when you're brushing your teeth?" And then he goes, let me see if I can find it. It's pretty funny. But the journalist comes away and he's just like, yeah, I don't think he thinks. Like, he just has a different brain. Like, he just...
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't reflect. And they did talk about that on YKS. So, like, trying to imagine, like, Trump, like, reading a book and then... sitting and thinking about the thing that he just read.
YKS, your Kickstarter sucks. Great podcast. But there was another one from years ago. I'll never be able to find the clip where Michael Hale off of your Kickstarter sucks. He does an impression of what's the word that you have where you have like kind of feel anxiety over your actions, basically, like if you had any ounce of self-reflection, but he does like Trump like closing the door at night going, oh no, why did I say that? I'm such an idiot. No. This is the thought of that was funny.
Here we go. I think I have it. This is from my favorite outlet, the Old Grey Lady, the New Yorker. And it was back in 1997, and he goes, okay, I said, you're basically alone. Your wife is still asleep. You're in the bathroom shaving, and you see yourself in the mirror. What are you thinking? Trump. Nothing. Like, from Trump, a look of incomprehension. Me. I mean, are you looking at yourself and thinking, wow, I'm Donald Trump? Trump remained baffled. Me. Okay, I guess I'm asking, do you consider yourself ideal company? Trump. You really want to know what I consider ideal company? Yeah. A nice piece of ass. That's it.
I just did you ever see that I feel like I've talked about this before, but the Errol Morris documentary where they interviewed Trump and ask him what his favorite movie is, and a focus group has clearly chosen Citizen Kane for him, okay? And he gives out like a kind of rudimentary analysis of Citizen Kane that you could have picked up from. It's amazing because he goes through all of this, but then the money didn't mean anything at the end because he didn't have the girl. All he was thinking about was his sled or whatever, you know, the analysis is. And then Errol Morris is like, well, what do you think that Charles Foster Kane should have done? He's like, get a new girl. Get a new girl.
The word rosebud, for whatever reason, has captivated moviegoers and movie watchers for so many years, and to this day is perhaps the single word. And perhaps if they came up with another word that meant the same thing, it wouldn't have worked. But rosebud works.
Rosebud works.
Right. For whatever reason.
You know, if you could give Charles Foster Kane advice, what would you say to him?
Get yourself a different woman.
And you're just like, God damn. You're just like, no. Just like, I wish I could kind of be him. Well, I don't wish I could be him, but like what I'm saying is that like, if you took my brain now and then you made me Donald Trump, it would be terrifying. It would be this chasm of just like loneliness and like, oh my God, there's nothing, you know? But like being him, like, does he feel like terror at everything? Like, does he wake up and just go, probably not. Probably he doesn't, you know.
I think he's like a shark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's reacting, but he's not thinking.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think that. I don't think... Yeah.
I love that you're saying shark like he's a big fish that's dumb. But like he would hear that and he's like, yeah, I'm a shark. I'm a killer. I go into the board meeting.
But also true. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's just... You know the thing they say about a shark is that it can never stop moving.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the way its gills work, it has to be moving at all times. Otherwise it suffocates. Like I think that's what he's like. You know what I mean? He just...
Yeah.
Like, I think that if he was locked in a room with nothing to do, he'd just, like, die. Like, within 5 minutes, he'd die somehow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just because, I don't know. Like, it's just, like what we said, it's just impossible to imagine him thinking.
Yeah. Reflecting. And also, like, you know, when we all had to follow him for like 4 years. One of the things that they noted on Chapo, which is where anytime he's being interviewed in Air Force One, and you can just hear like Fox News in the background just screaming, like it's turned up full blast, talking about like erectile dysfunction pills or fucking, you know.
But like you could see it when he was running for president, he was really funny and like it was sort of like fascinating. Then when he became president, it was just like he's really depressed and like he just seemed so much less happy. And then like it's just the moments where he has something to do, he's so much more happier. And then when he gets it, he's miserable, you know?
Yeah, when he's like defeating his rivals and when he's meant to be up there. Like when they're like, Mr. President, why'd you make this decision and whatever? He's like, it's like he much prefers this other thing of like, did you see what that guy did? What a bozo! What a big fool! You know. And he loves being on stage, and frankly, we love to see him on stage.
Do you think
Jimmy,
he'll win?
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Jimmy Kimmel had this thing where he was like, he's a late night host, so he's kind of boring, but I still thought that he's like, this guy hates being president and we hate him being president. So let's create a new role called the King of America and just make Trump the King of America.
Yeah.
And he gets to go like, Sweden, you're losers. You messed up this immigration. It's gone crazy over there. Have you seen them? You know, and
yeah.
It's amazing how my Trump impression is actually just the impression that Matt Christman does on Chapo. Is one of the, and then they went up, and then they were very nice to me, and then you know.
Yeah. David O'Doherty had a joke about, Conor McGregor said he'd run for president.
Yeah.
And it's like, Conor McGregor clearly thinks that it's like America, where if you're president, you run the country. Whereas like, we should all vote for him. And it's like, and he's like, okay, what's the first thing we do today? And they're like, you have to go to the Blasket Islands to judge a basket weaving competition, and then you have to read a poem afterwards. And he's like, oh, how long do I have to do this for? It's like, 7 years. Yeah. I wonder if he will run for president.
Probably will.
Conor McChucklefuck.
I think he kind of will now because he's too proud not to.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe I'm really overestimating the Irish electorate, but I really don't think that he'll get that much support. I don't think people actually like the idea of him being representative of the country.
No, definitely not.
And I don't think, funnily enough, I think that people take the presidential election a bit more serious. They like to feel like we're like poets or something, or like,
yeah.
Am I wrong?
I think you're right. There's a real sense of like, I think as well, part of it is that, like when you're voting in the general election, you're just like, my TD will be tempered by the other TDs. You know what I mean? So you're like happy to vote for like crazier characters.
Yeah.
Whereas there's only one president. So, like, we vote a crazy guy in. No one there to stop him being crazy. You know what I mean?
I also think that, like, they have this idea of, like, well, the country is a business and my money is in the business, so I'm going to vote for this guy because he seems to make the most sense with what he's going to do with my money. Yeah. My money shouldn't be going here, or it should be going here, or this is a professional manager who's like... Whereas when you're choosing the president, it's more about, like...
vibes.
You know, who's going to... Yeah, vibes, really. I mean, when you think about Mary Robinson or Mary McAleese, like... This is, as crazy as this sounds, I did not know until relatively recently that Mary McAleese was the Fianna Fáil candidate for president. I just presumed she was also Labour.
Yeah, actually me too. I didn't realise that.
So like, it used to be, here is the position that is gifted some stalwart in Fianna Fáil who's been in politics forever. And now it's become, here is kind of the ambassador for the country, and it's also the kind of notions that we have as well about ourselves, you know, like depending on what that moment in time that we want to convey, which is
who do you think, who's going to run? Have we talked about this? Who's going to...
I don't know. We'll talk about it again. We should stop doing that, because that really stops everything in its tracks when you go, have we talked about this?
I think I meant like, did we talk about this in the last episode? But even then...
No, I don't think so.
Bertie Ahern. We need to come up with nicknames, hilarious nicknames for them.
I have a nickname, but it's also my username on Reddit, so you can look at... I call it Squirty Ahern.
Okay.
So if you want to find me on Reddit, that's the way you can do that.
It's just Squirty Ahern, is it?
I think so.
Really?
I don't know. They just like, I had to create an account to, like, you know, look at something. And then every time I open it up and I see Squirty Hurt, it makes me so upset. I hate it. But it was just like the first thing that came into my head at that
It says you
I
haven't
hope that it's
commented.
not like-
You haven't commented or anything.
No, I haven't. It's just so that I can see shit.
Extreme squirt warning.
What am I following? Yeah, it'd be like or stacked.
Yeah.
Or Pog. Or Gianna Michaels worship.
All right. Let's not get too detailed.
Well, look, Gianna Michaels is famous. People know Gianna Michaels.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Fine. I'm just telling you.
Um,
Lisa Ann probably more, I'd say, but you know.
see, she got arrested at some comedy show.
She did. I don't know who the comedy guy was. I thought he was like a TikTok guy, but yeah, I saw the video of her being like taken outside, and
Not the only
allegedly
video you've seen.
she was on a little video. We something we should watch for the podcast. Nailin' Palin.
Yeah.
So she said that she was being taken out because she was on her phone, but she insists she wasn't on her phone. And then I was like, well, what happened there? But then that seems to be the end of that. Another interesting one was Killer Mike getting arrested at the Grammys.
Oh.
Did you see? He got 3 awards, walked off stage, and then the cops just arrested him,
Wow.
and nobody knows what the fuck it was over.
Probably killing someone. If I had to take a guess. Okay. Bertie Ahern.
Yeah, sorry. Bertie Ahern, Squirty Ahern. Then we have, who's the other guy? Apparently Jerry Adams might run.
Okay.
Maybe. Scary Adams, more like. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
Like Scary Spice.
Yeah. Okay. Scary Adams.
Scary Spice Adams.
Yeah.
And then who else?
Okay. Fine Gael. Who'll run for Fine Gael?
I would have said John Bruton, but no, I guess not.
Yeah. Too late.
Rip.
Anna Kenny? No. Too soon. Too recent.
Well, he might, but like,
No, I couldn't
yeah,
imagine.
he's just dead in the water already. Then
It's too. I feel like you need a few years for people to forget about you. You know.
Mm.
What about who was the leader
John
of Fine Gael
Burton.
before Anna Kenny?
Oh fuck, Michael Noonan.
I don't know.
Let me look this up. Leaders Fine Gael. Leader Fine Gael. What am I doing here? What are we doing?
What?
Nothing. Leaders. Oh no, Duffy. WT Cosgrave. I'm going to skip ahead. Enda Kenny. Michael Noonan.
Boom.
How about that? How the fuck
Hello.
did I do that? 2001 to 2002. So that was long
Short.
baby reign.
And then it was Anna Kenny
Then it was Enda Kenny.
from 2002.
Till 2017.
Easy, hung around.
Yeah. Bad
Um,
smell.
it is mad how he grew a beard after the whole.
Yeah, he really tried that. Do you remember we were like, oh, he's going to like soften his image with the stupid
Yeah.
show about trains that he's doing?
Yeah.
And then it seems like that didn't work, so he just gave up. He's just like, I'm shaving this fucking beard off. I
Yeah.
thought you could, you could see me as this soft kind of gentle granddad who likes trains, but I guess not.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Isn't
always
too
going to
much
have
of
it
a-
for austerity. You know,
Yeah.
you do one thing that
Yeah.
leads to the death of many people and the immiseration of others. You know, people never let you forget it. Maybe Fine Gael won't run anyone.
Is that a thing? I thought they'd just find some guy like they'll be like, oh, here's Neil Richmond or something. I mean, not Neil Richmond, but to get somebody who's like just not a fucking hope. Who ran for the Greens last time? I remember that was like, who the fuck is that?
In 2017.
Yeah. When was that the presidential election?
Yeah.
I suppose it was. Yeah.
The one before
Green
that
Party.
was 2010. The Greens.
Green Party.
Greens could be anybody. Like, it could literally be anybody.
Who ran for? Was it Rita Cronin? Does that make sense?
Like, who remembers like old Green politicians?
Okay, let's look at presidential election 2017. Election twin. Peter Casey ran then.
Oh, yeah. And then do you remember in the general election he ran in 2 different constituencies?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he lost both, obviously. I think he ran one in Donegal and one in Dublin.
It says here it's the 2018 Irish presidential election. So...
Do you want to apologise now?
So Leah Ní Ria ran for Sinn Féin.
For who? Sinn Féin?
Yeah. Gavin Duffy ran as an independent. He was one of the Dragon's Den guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Gallagher, businessman. I don't know if that was the election where he was undid by that RTE thing.
No, that was the one
before. It was the one before. Peter Casey and then Michael D. Higgins. And yeah, he ran as an independent, which you pointed out the last day. People keep not mentioning that he's not in Labour anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so Bertie Ahern, that's a safe one. Labour will put someone forward. Definitely, Labour.
Do you know Eamon Gilmore, probably?
Yeah, yeah.
If he'd go for it. I jokingly said Joan Burton earlier on.
Yeah.
Nobody would be that stupid.
No.
Not even somebody from Labour.
Talk Dems. Probably won't put anyone forward.
Probably not. What was... Did we start this for a reason? Like, because we were like, what about Bertie? What are they going to say about him? Or what's the arguments for or against him? Or
yeah, I think Bertie, the whole thing would be like, he did the Good Friday
agreement, yeah.
And I think for a lot of people younger than us, he just... they don't really have any associations with him. They're just like, he's been Fianna Fáil. Maybe the bank thing will come up, but that's sort of funny, like... I don't think younger people have a particularly negative opinion of Bertie Ahern.
I would say they have an ambiently negative opinion about him, just because, like, anybody who's associated with the crash is just going to be like, well, that guy did something during the crash, so fuck that.
Yeah, but it's sort of like they say younger people, like teenagers, are smoking cigarettes again. And sort of because cigarettes have been so unpopular for so long. It's not even, they're not just exposed to like anti-cigarette stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we just all assume everybody knows. So maybe younger people are just like they don't think about Bertie. Maybe they hate Andy Kenny more than Bertie. You know what I mean?
Andy Kenny, I don't know. I feel like they leave no impression whatsoever. That's the other thing. I don't know. What am I talking about?
Spend a penny. And I hope he runs so I can call him Spend a Penny.
So Spend a Penny versus Squirty Ahern.
Yeah.
And then Scary Spice Adams.
Yeah.
Scary Spice Semtex Adams.
What?
Scary Spice Semtex Adams.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done with that.
We're done with that.
They put Bernie Sanders there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
He held his feet to the fire, obviously.
What?
He held his feet to the fire.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, it sucks that he is so bad on Gaza.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Ash Sarkar clip, did you?
No.
He was on Navarra Media, and she just put the question to him about 3 times. Would you consider what's happening a genocide? And then he just kind of waffles around it, says, you know, we have to be very careful about our words, and I don't think it's helpful to talk about it like a genocide, and da-da-da. And then she said, God, what did she say? There was one thing that he basically said, yeah. She was asking about the genocide, and she mentioned like because he just didn't answer the question. He just waffled around it. And then one of the responses that he gave was how basically it's his job as a senator to kind of make sure that the weapons don't go there, or they're like Israel is held to account because they don't have the right to exterminate the Palestinians and stuff like this. And then she brings up, she's like, yeah, and if it was labeled a genocide, then that might allow other countries to be able to do things which could, you know, bring about a permanent ceasefire quicker. And he's like, well, that's kind of not for me to speculate on. I don't think it's helpful, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, what do you think of the BDS movement? And he said, more like BDSM movement.
Did he?
No. And he goes, he says, what do you think of the BDS movement? He's like, I don't think it's helpful, and I don't think that, I don't believe in sanctions. And she's like, what did you think of apartheid South Africa when they put sanctions against them? Well, that was, just didn't have anything. Just kind of had to try and fucking bail out of that one. But it was a pretty genial interview. It was just, like, I don't think anybody left that interview feeling particularly cross with one another. But it was very revealing that he just couldn't fucking say it.
Yeah.
He couldn't say this looks like a genocide. Not even, like, as in, like, just go like, well, that's up for the International Criminal Court to think, but like the stuff that I'm seeing, it, you know, it's in line with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have to be careful about how we label it or something like that. Instead, he was just like, basically the United States position of, I don't think it's very helpful.
No.
And then
he really got buck broken, didn't he?
Yeah. The one that was really pissed me off though was the UCD thing. So he appears in UCD and he gets heckled.
Yeah. The response to that was so irritated.
Fucking. Yeah, let me see. I got like a bit of it here. Where's the thing? But so some dickhead shared it, just going like, unbelievable. You can't have like a civil debate about these things. Oh yeah, Edward Burke, assistant professor, history of war at UCD, goes, when you can't engage in discourse with a US senator like Bernie Sanders, but instead just shout at him, you may need to reflect on your assumptions about what a university campus should be. And I'm like, it's not a fucking thought experiment, you hack. You miserable little shit.
Yeah.
I hate these people who sit in their little houses just going like, oh, interesting. I read an interesting article about Gaza, and I read an interesting... Obviously, I condemn Hamas, and we need to think about what's our response, and what's this going to be, and it has to be measured, and it has to be... And it's like, shut the fuck up. Stop pretending that it's complicated. This is the thing that really annoys me.
Yeah.
Fucking debate. Just, I don't want a debate. There's no debate to be had here.
And it's also like, they just heckled him. You know what I mean? They didn't like try to shoot him or something.
No.
Like, heckling is part of debate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Particularly like, if we're saying he's been soft on a genocide.
Yeah.
Like, it's not disrespectful to heckle him. Well, it's disrespectful, but not in a bad way. To heckle a politician. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what they're there for.
And I really, really hate the this article and the framing of it. Okay, so it's Ronan McGreevy, who's just fucking dog shit analysis usually as well. Protesters heckled US Senator Bernie Sanders during UCD event. So pro-Palestinian protesters disrupted an event in UCD. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to skip to the part. Where is it? Oh yeah, by the way, who was interviewing him? Only David McWilliams.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Does he say anything about the genocide? Dave McSwilliams.
I don't think it's not like. I think he's like. I guess I shouldn't really comment because I haven't really looked up any stuff, but I know that it's not his main interest anyway. He's not shocked and appalled by it. And, given the statements we've read out by him when he was accused of being a friend of Israel and how, like, actually their economy is great. We've got a lot to learn from them.
Yeah.
There's this whole, like, I think he has a lot to answer for and he should be talking about it more than he is, but no, he doesn't feel the need to do that, and certainly that wasn't. I don't think that was a question he was anticipating. He wasn't going to be asking Sanders about that.
Yeah,
anyway.
But
this is the thing here. The protesters accused Mr. Sanders of being a Zionist and a genocide denier, despite him being one of the most vocal critics in American politics of Israel. It's like, that's like,
yeah,
what's the word when you just like are just saying something that's not like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where journalists basically put their own opinion into a piece. What's that called again?
Editorializing, I guess.
Yes, thank you.
But it's also, America's really bad on Israel. As in, so
exactly.
say he was. I mean, he's definitely one of the better American politicians on Gaza. But that's
maybe, but like not really, because you have Rashida Tlaib and you got Ilhan Omar.
Well, they're the best. What I'm saying is that they're better.
Yeah, fine.
I'm just saying the bar is so low. Like most American politicians, like 99% of them are like, no, Israel are right to exterminate Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
And so saying he's one of the better ones is it's nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like you say, there are American politicians who are actually opposing the genocide. Yeah.
Mr. Sanders received a standing ovation from the crowd of more than 1,000 people. Again, I feel like that's editorializing. It's like correct. When he told the protesters that public meetings were an essential part of democracy and disrupting them was wrong.
No,
and here's the part that
it's not wrong.
This is the part that drove me mad. He also told them that slogans are not solutions. Mr. Millionaires and Billionaires, Medicare for All, is talking about free Palestine and like from the river to the sea. Oh no, those are just slogans. No, they are also like things. They are solutions to the problem.
Yeah.
And he's a ceasefire now. All these things which they are labeled as slogans. They're the same as Medicare for All.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. And like, he just felt so wounded that they came at him like that. You know?
Yeah. He really just wanted like an easy interview. It just drives me like it's not like they shut down the building or they called in a bomb threat. Like he was speaking and he's an American politician and he's on like he's a budget committee or something, head of the like he has a role, like and then these people are like, "You're involved in funding a genocide, so I'm going to heckle you to demand a response." And the whole response from everybody's like, "Wow, I thought fascists. I thought the left didn't like fascists. It's like more polite than they need to be. These hecklers."
Like, also in 2015, this was like kind of at the start of the first wave of Black Lives Matter, there was a speech that he did, I can't remember where, but a bunch of Black Lives Matter activists took to the stage and interrupted him.
Yeah.
And that incident, he stepped back from the mic and let them take the mic.
Yeah.
And they started talking. It was like, I don't know, like it's so embarrassing. Like what Israel does to the American mind is really something
crazy, isn't it? And what I was going to say, I like Bernie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but
you can like him and also say like what he's doing is abhorrent. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can't. I don't know, but I did like Bernie. Anyway, fair to say. Whereas the people who are sort of saying like, he's on your side and like you have to understand that, you don't heckle people who are on your side. It's like,
Yeah.
you do heckle them because they should listen to you if they're on your side.
Yeah.
And if they're not listening to you, they're not on your side, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, just this idea of debate and like David McWilliams and his Kilconomics thing, and he like, let's talk to Bernie Sanders, a bit of flavor. He's got some wild ideas, and it's like you're sitting on a stage with an economist who kind of pals around and probably thinks the same stuff that destroyed your campaign.
Yeah.
That this money should not be redistributed at all. There shouldn't be any sort of like
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't follow David McWilliams. I'm sure that his economics are like what I've seen in the past, which is incredibly inconsistent and confusing and dependent entirely on what people are in favor of or against at that moment in time. Like
Yeah.
But like, he is part of an elite where it's like, let's sit up here and talk about the issues and the abstract, and we'll never actually do anything about them. And then anybody who gives a shit about them, it's like, why do you care? Why are you getting so angry?
Yeah.
We're here trying to have a debate about something. It's like, because I give a shit. I actually care about what you're fucking talking about. You're treating it like, you know. And then the way that the article frames it as well is like unbelievable. Look at them. They're going after one of their own guys. It's like, I don't know. They're just so boring.
Because it's not like they're heckling him over some minor bit of policy either, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's over genocide.
Yeah.
And like, he's sort of softened on his stance after 30,000 people died, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he really kept very quiet for the first 3 months of the genocide, you know?
Yeah, his staffers were trying to get him to say something, and then eventually when he started talking, it was to just be like, condemn Hamas, and I'm not going to talk about Israel.
Yeah.
And then now I guess they got it out of their system, 30,000, and suddenly now it's like, I'm condemn Hamas and I condemn Netanyahu's government. It's like, well, we're making progress. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but
Let's
like...
give it 6 more months.
Like, he says this thing here, and according to the article... he said that the American political establishment historically supported Israel, but Israel has changed and now has an extreme right-wing government with a Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is facing criminal indictments and members of his cabinet who are racist.
Yeah, it's mad the way there's this move to be like, it's not Israel, it's Netanyahu. It's like, it is Israel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or it's a recent phenomenon, because like Netanyahu was president for ages, and then what's that guy's name? Naftali Bennett took over, and then Netanyahu's back in, and now they're like, it's like the most far right government that Israel have ever had. And like Norman Finkelstein said, there does not exist a left wing in Israel.
Yeah,
there is only right wing.
Yeah,
like
I know. It's like as if during the early days of America, they were like, it's not America, it's just Samuel Jackson, or whatever that guy's name was. Second name. What's his name?
Andrew Jackson.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. And Andrew Jackson was in the second, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what number he was.
Who's the guy, he's on the $20 bill?
Yeah, the one who just like exterminated the indigenous population.
Well, my point is that they were all doing that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just he was particularly vicious about it.
Exactly.
It's like, the whole project is one of genocide and colonialism, you know?
Mr. Sanders, when asked if President Biden could win a second term, Mr. Sanders said he could do if he has an agenda that speaks to ordinary people, and if he promises to reintroduce the president's signature Build Back Better bill, which was defeated by conservative Democrats. So, like, again, these people is like, I've written a book about capitalism. I've come to UCD to talk about politics in the US. And now you're coming at me talking about Israel. It's like, let me talk about America. And then it was like, what the fuck are a bunch of people in UCD listening to the Build Back Better scheme? Like, what significance is that to you at all?
Yeah,
you know?
You see, Biden is he has to take a cognitive exam.
I think they all have to take them, but I think the thing was that he declined to take the cognitive exam. He's the first president to do that.
Oh, he's not taking it.
Apparently, that's what I read. Like,
that's so funny. Like
Trump and all of them had to do it.
The cognitive exam is pretty straightforward. It's like draw a
Yeah.
clock. Like it's literally, it's not like how smart are you. It's like,
Yeah.
is your brain working at a basic level?
Yeah.
So the fact that he's like, I will not be taking the exam, is very funny.
Let me look this up. 6 days ago, like this is the other thing, is that it's impossible to find this stuff out because the media is so captured for Biden. So like I typed in cognitive test Biden, okay?
Yeah.
And the first thing that came up was why Joe Biden should not take a cognitive test. And then the next one was, do not read too much into Biden-Trump verbal stumbles.
That's
yeah,
so
and
crazy.
then the only one, yeah,
Because do you remember when Trump ran for the first time? And they literally had like cognitive scientists being like, does Trump know how to read? You know?
yeah, exactly. His body language suggests that he is incompetent. Like there's so much analysis on how he's completely unfit for office, and when it comes to Biden, it's like, just please don't look at him too much. Let's get him over the fucking line, you know. I finally found it. Sky News: Joe Biden refuses to take cognitive tests at his next medical exam. So,
like when you're that age, you have to take a driving. You have to renew your driver's license every couple of years. Like, it's just like everything. We need to keep an eye on you, you know. And he's like, he's just not doing any of it. I'd love to see his cognitive exam.
Yeah, no. How did he get ketchup on this thing? It was a sealed room, you know. Sorry, I was just looking up because I was just thinking, like, well, who is the president at all anymore? It's just a guy who stands up there, gives speeches. Now it seems to be run by a committee of people who we don't really know. They might be elected, mostly not, probably. I'm willing to wager. And then I was reminded that just recently, Keir Starmer, one of his latest pledges was to introduce citizens' assemblies in UK politics.
Okay.
And a lot of the people that I follow on Twitter, the lefties in the UK, are actually really upset about this. They're like, what the fuck am I voting for you for in the first place? If you're now going to abdicate responsibility to legislate to a bunch of randomly selected people, and then I'm just sitting in Ireland going, "Well, hang on now," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was against citizens' assemblies too, but now,
yeah.
And then when I heard them, they were talking about it on Navarra media yesterday as well, and you know, basically they had somebody who's a supporter of citizens' assemblies saying, like, well, you know, it's like most things. If you do it badly, it's going to be bad. If you do it good, it's going to be good. So we just need to make sure that they do a good job of it.
Yeah.
But when you look at cases like in Ireland, and like when you hear about like the concept of a citizens' assembly, basically not entirely at random, but like I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible for this. Choose 100 people at random, get a bunch of different experts who represent different sides of the debate, present people with the evidence, and then ask them, what do you think? And then they put forward their ideas. And then what we got then was like, you know, the thing that they did to kick the can down the road regarding the abortion, gay marriage, all the stuff that, you know, where the Citizens Assembly, they end up coming back with far more progressive proposals than actually even gets implemented in a referendum stage.
Yeah.
And I think sorry.
I think they should choose the tallest, it shouldn't be random, it should be the tallest guy, the smallest guy.
Yeah.
The fattest woman, you know?
Yeah.
Skinniest woman. All this.
Yeah.
The most extremes, you know?
Yeah.
The guy with the biggest eyes, the woman with the smallest tongue, you know? The fastest, you know, non-binary, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I just put them in a room, put a camera in there as well, and see what they come up with.
Yeah. And we'll call it Last One Laughing 2. Like the woman who they interviewed on Navarra, she was saying also like, well, a lot of people are pretty disillusioned with politics, so maybe it's actually good to engage a bunch of people as well in the process so people can feel part of this government thing. And I was like, that's how you know that it's not going to,
Yeah.
When Starmer proposes it, that's how you know it's not going to work. As in, like, either he's going to row back on it immediately, or they're just going to make it like what the neutrality panels over the summer were last year.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it's a complete fucking farce.
In the middle of recording this episode, Starmer, you turned on this position.
But either way, like in theory, when you hear it, you're just like, this would be great, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be a great way to run things? To have like, 100 random people, and then you just get like a few.
There's a style of government. I think it's called. Is it called sortition or something?
Don't know.
And it's like the whole government is just randomly selected people.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. What other people would you choose for the extreme? The thing I was just talking about.
Longest hair. Because that would be like, he could just cut his hair. Like,
yeah.
I think comes in, he shaved all his hair off. No, what the our sample? It's just was throwing him off.
I think it'd be cool. It's like one guy. He's like the guy who lives furthest away from Ireland. You know.
Yeah.
So some guy from like Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You think we should legalize drugs?" You know. And he's like, "Yeah, I love licking frogs." Sortition. It was is a selection of public officials using a random representative sample. So it's basically just like the whole government is just random chaps, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it honestly wouldn't be any worse because
no,
the current people are just random. Like,
yeah,
like say Stephen Donnelly, he's Minister for Health, isn't he? Is he still?
Yeah.
What does he know about anything? Actually, what
honestly.
does he know? Like, if
Not
I got
about
some
health
chap
anyway.
in off the street, like, the only difference would be the guy on the street wouldn't be like, how do I make sure I keep this job? You know what I mean? He'd be like, he's like, I don't care. I don't want to be a politician. But I'll just make decisions because I legally have to, you know?
Or how do I get my beak wet? Like, I mean, here's like what happens is I have no medical experience. I'm a politician. I get made Minister for Health. What do? Well, I have to defer to the experts. Which experts do I choose? Well, they're the experts who best align with my ideology. So if you got some random guy off the street, you basically have a 50-50 chance of having like, public health care by the end of the week, or like every you have to pay to even enter a hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
and like the guy, the random guy is going to be like, well, I want to make sure that when I leave and I'm just a normal guy again, I have healthcare, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Stephen Donnelly, he's like, I will kill myself if I'm ever a normal person ever again.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my head in an egg cracker.
Where that's those things where they snip off the top of a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah, his brain just falls out the top.
Yeah. His yolk just all over the place.
Yeah. Like go through any of the current crowd. Like Varco was Minister for Sport. He's also like,
was he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I mean, he's Minister for Health. He's a doctor, but that's just random. That's just coincidence.
Yeah.
And even then, his decisions were not informed by his
No, they weren't.
Who else is there? Simon Harris.
He's a failed he went to study journalism
and he dropped
out and then became.
So he is just
Minister
random. Like he's just random. Like loads of people have done that. Simon Coveney, his dad is a politician.
Yeah.
Killed himself.
Yeah. Sorry, they can't see me winking here.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you think he was killed?
No, I don't know. I just heard that there was some sort of conspiracy theory that he was involved with some shady characters and wound up dead.
Ah. The thing I heard was that he was involved in some tribunal.
Mm.
And then he knew he was going to get done, so he threw himself off a cliff.
Yeah.
Anyway, you
Play?
get my point. Joan, what's her name?
Burden.
Yeah.
We love Joan Burden on this podcast. She gets a lot of mentions.
She's really left
for
a
some reason.
psychic. Like there's a hole, a hole in my brain that's filled with her voice. You know.
Oh, brother.
She did such damage. You know.
Yeah. Can I just because Joan Burden came up, this story has been burning a hole in my head, and I'm trying to avoid telling anecdotes to stand in for simple points. But one time our house was getting burgled, okay?
Yeah.
And my dad came back to find them burgling the house. And they were trying to pretend that they weren't burgling the house, all right?
Wow.
And he's like, I can see you taking my stuff and putting it in the truck, okay? So they're putting it in a van, and they're like, all right, calm down, you know? And then they're like getting into the van, and then he's like, stop, like getting mad, like, you can't do this. And they're like, would you like stop being so hostile? What's your problem? And they were just like telling him this while they were robbing the house. But
that's insane.
That's the feeling that I get with Joan Burden, where it's like, like Joan Burden is like being screamed at a car. It's like, why are you being so aggressive? And it's like just stealing everything, just ripping ripping the wire out of the country and all this, and just like, there's no need to get so angry.
Yeah.
And same with Bernie Sanders. Same with all the at this time, the politicians, it's like they know what they're doing, and they're like mad at you for being mad. They're like, back off, man.
I know. Yeah. That's a crazy story. They were just and then what happened? Did they get away with it?
Well, I'll just tell you, Well, so here's what happened. All right. So we lived up in Galway at the top of this hill, okay, in a rural area. And so they were he's like standing in front of the van, and they're like revving up, and they're like, we're going to if you don't get out of the way, we're just going to mow you down.
Jesus.
So he's just like, fine. He just stepped out of the way, and he's just like watching them drive off with all of his stuff. So my dad is a solicitor, okay? So he knows like a lot of guards and stuff like that.
He knows the law, and he knew what they were doing was illegal.
So he's watching it, but he rang up the guards, but he like knew the guards he was talking to. Is what I'm saying, you know. So like he's there, he's like, hi, like I'm here, and they've just like, hi Tony, I'm just looking at my stuff being stolen. And the guards were like, well, we don't have any squad cars in Oranmore, like we can't get out there. And then he's like, hold on 1 second, because he could see them across the bay from the top of this hill that we lived on. Yeah. And they were coming to a road where there's only like 2 ways for them to go. Okay?
Yeah.
And if they went left, then they'd be going to Oranmore. But if they went right, then the only exit would be in Clarence Bridge. Okay,
yeah.
So he's like, hold on a second. And he saw them, and then they turned right towards Clarence Bridge. And he's like, do you have a squad car in Clarence Bridge? And they're like, we do actually. And so the squad car was just waiting for them when they pulled up at Clarence Bridge.
Wow.
And just because he knew at the van, he had the license plate, I guess.
Yeah.
So they just caught them, and they brought the stuff back. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was funny.
That's mad.
Yeah.
And like, it's mad that they were like, we don't have a squad car in Oranmore.
I know.
Like,
I mean,
what,
like, yeah.
What are the police doing? Like, that's all the police have. Like, if they don't have a car, what's the point of the police?
Well, it's my whole like life in Ireland, where like, especially rural Ireland, like if you were to suggest anything change, they're like, well, no, because we don't give a shit about rural Ireland, so we're not going to bother. But then the second thing is with the cops in particular. My dad and I were like driving through Oranmore, and there was these big flower pots, like massive flower pots, and these guys were just going and just pushing over the flower pots, and soil was like spreading all over the pavement, all the like, just like, oh, I've put out nice little flowers here for you, you know, for the public. And they're just like systematically walking through Oranmore and just destroying all of the flowers as a laugh. So my dad was like, okay, I'll just ring the guards. And then he was like, so he rang the guards because there's like a station, like a massive guard station in Oranmore. And he went, they're like destroying all the flower pots. And then he's, okay. So he's like, yeah, I just thought you might want to do something about it. Oh, okay, cool. And that was it. The phone conversation. I was like, are they going to go out? He's like, I don't know. Like they might. But it's, I don't know. But I don't know what I'm getting at. It's just that the guards, that's always been my interaction with them, is that they don't have anything. They don't do anything. And then they also don't really care about doing nothing either.
But like Oranmore, it's not, is it a town? Like, is there a big town?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is. For some reason I thought it was like more like a townland or something.
Well, it's gotten bigger in recent years because Galway city's like expanded out. So there's a load of neighborhoods out there. And there's also a train stop now as well.
Wow.
It's been there for like ages, but like since I left, so it feels new to me. But everybody's like trying to figure out like, how do we make this, how do we turn this into a big commuter town to the city of Galway? But everybody just shrugs and kind of goes, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe nothing. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, like I'm not sure what the order of the release of these are going to be, or even if I should have said this in the first place. But you remember I said that my mum approached a Fianna Fáil councillor to get a occupied territories bill passed on the county council.
Yeah.
Well, apparently some bureaucrat within the council has just gone like, you can't even bring the motion forward because it goes against procurement rules. So they're having to push back against that. But like apparently there was, like I'm pretty ignorant about this, but ultimately, we know that the Occupied Territories Bill basically says you can't buy goods and services from occupied territories like Palestine.
Yeah.
Or like the illegal settlements in Palestine, I should say. So apparently back in September of 2023, Galway City Council passed an occupied territories bill that included Israel.
Okay.
So something like that. So it was a simple case of like, okay, let's just do that now. And it's a rebuke to what Israel's doing in the region at the moment.
Yeah.
And whereas it was passed immediately without any kind of sort of fanfare in September 2023. Now procurement rules prevent them from even bringing the motion forward for the county council.
Why?
Just reasons.
Just some reason.
That was it. Procurement. It's like we oh no, unfortunately, reasons.
Yeah, we want that. We don't want to do that.
Because it was like, if it was Russia, it would be like, this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the usual shit of like, well, we don't want this to happen, so what can we do? Procurement. I don't know. Their tail light was out. It's obscure. Their license plate is slightly obscured. It's all the bullshit that like, they just make up to prevent good things from ever happening.
Yeah. Do you think we should nuke Israel?
Very long pause there from me. I was thinking that maybe we should nuke Israel. I was thinking that, like, I was like, oh, that would trigger a chain reaction. I was like, I don't know. As long as Israel goes first, I'm willing to have the entire planet destroyed.
Like, Israel definitely wouldn't be expecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be like one of those phishing emails that are from like a hot woman. You know what I mean? You just think it's a hot woman emailing you, but then after a few emails, she asks you for that. They just be like, "Oh, it's an American thing.
Have you seen this?
It's an aid package from America. It's funding. It's actually in the UK."
Just imagine like a Wile E. Coyote situation, like, oh, this aid package, and then they're opening it up, and then they look up into the camera and make a face, and then
yeah.
soot all over their face, or maybe their like nose is blown to the back of their head, like Daffy Duck.
Their skin is falling off, it's turning red, and 5 generations later, the kids have like 3 eyes and stuff.
Yeah. RTE has confirmed members of Irish Women in Harmony group were asked to remove badges and clothing which supported Palestine ahead of their live performance on last night's Late Late Show.
You had me at women removing. No. No. Yeah, I saw that, and the Israeli ambassador is wearing a like "fuck Israel" pin or something.
No, love Israel. She wouldn't be wearing a "fuck Israel" pin.
No, I don't know why she had it on us. Fuck Israel. No, yeah, it was like I love Israel. I love.
Yeah, it was the Israeli flag, and like people have pointed this out that like the Late Late Show actually did appeals to raise money for Ukraine. You know?
Yeah,
and then there was like a statement made by like what was the group? Palestine.
Let me just guess. Let me guess an acronym here.
All right.
AGF.
What does AGF stand for?
I don't know. UPC. No.
But the thing about it as well, like I don't know whether one of the badges they were asked to remove was actually a watermelon badge.
Yeah.
So it was the thing that people use because they can't use the Palestinian flag because they get banned off of social media platforms or whatnot. And they now are like, actually, now you can't even wear that.
Yeah. I just support Korea with their square watermelons.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's much more subtle, nuanced point.
I can't remember what the group was, but the group was like, "Oh, we don't blame the female artists for taking off the badges. You know, we need to support each other." But they were playing like a Sinead O'Connor song as well.
Yeah.
Because we support like female music. It's like Sinead O'Connor would be incredibly. She like torpedoed her career, tearing up a picture of the Pope. Yeah. And you can't wear a fucking badge for like one of Ireland's most prominent Muslim artists as well.
Yeah. Matter she was Muslim.
Yeah. But there you go.
I always think it's weird when Irish people are religious. You know what I mean? It's like they're all bad. You know? I don't know. You're just thinking they'll put you off religion for life. You know? But
yeah.
What was I going to say? What was the group then?
I couldn't find them. I couldn't fucking find them.
Yeah.
Okay, are you happy now?
Yeah. Ireland are so RT are so shit for that sort of stuff.
I know.
It's like you can't wear the badge. You can't wear the badge that's like, please stop genociding innocent people. But then it's like of course when they're like, I love Islamophobia badge, you know, that's fine.
yeah.
You know? It's like you can't rip up a picture of Conor McGregor, but like you can.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can be Conor McGregor.
Yeah. You can bean Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
His head. Throw a bean at it, I guess, or something.
We take a break. I wouldn't mind a cup of tea. Also, we have something from last week. We talked about in the past. Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! The Damo and Ivor guy.
Yeah.
Fuck. Forgot about that. Yeah, we have to look that up.
They should make an episode as Damo and Ivor meet Mr. Burns.
Damo and Ivor, where's that coming from?
It would just be funny.
Yeah, it came out of my head and I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, Mr. Burns. So there's Damo's a posh one.
Yeah.
Ivor's the socioeconomically deprived one.
Yeah, the scumbag one.
And then Mr. Burns is the extra posh one.
Yeah. He's the extra posh one. Yeah?
Yeah. And he's old and skinny. And he's still their twin somehow.
Yeah, in the movie, the
In
natural...
the movie, Mr. Burns...
was a traveller.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Now we're on to something. What if Mr. Burns was a traveller? And he was like, shake my hand, you know?
Mm.
That's what travellers love shaking hands, you know? They go, shake my hand, shake my hand. Okay, now what? Do it again.
That's it. That's a more positive stereotype.
And they love stealing. No. No.
No, because even then I was thinking about The Simpsons with where they create Poochie. It's like
the animal chain of command goes mouse, cat, dog.
But it's like coming up with a Damo and Ivor movie. Rich guy, poor guy, traveller.
Yeah.
You know?
It's originally started off as just Damo, wasn't it? Or was it just Ivor?
Yeah, so Andy Quirk, this is my knowledge of him.
Andy Squirt.
Andy Squirt, in the Bebo days, these videos started to appear called Skanger Me Banger. And
there were no videos on Bebo.
There were.
There weren't.
There was.
I think I know if there were videos on Bebo.
Oh man, I wish you could see how you're getting lit up in the comments right now.
In the comments.
Jude just sending in, actually there was video.
Yeah, just hate mail. Okay.
Kyle just going, I wasn't alive at that time, so that's a joke. If you know who Kyle is, he's one of our
you
patrons.
Knew who Kyle was? Which I don't. Here's a thing from boards.ie.
Don't even.
Retrieving an old video from Bebo. All the responses. There was no video on Bebo. Hi, 'cause this is good. There was video on Bebo. I just remember there being pictures on Bebo.
No, there's videos, but they were like, it was one of those things where I just remember losing hours trying to position the video correctly on my timelines, you know, where it'd be like, I found a video and it's of a TV host like Janice Turner.
It was Anthea Turner. Janice Turner is a big turf rider. Although they're both British, so who knows?
And she gets blown up by like, so stupid. I don't know. I can't even
By a
begin
bomb.
to. No, basically, it was a bit of a lawsuit back in the 1980s, I think, where she was on the back of a van that a motorcycle was about to burst out of.
Yeah.
And the pyrotechnics guy had told her, like, don't worry, we'll shoot the part where the motorcycle comes out later on, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously... was a miscommunication. So she was there. She's like, so if you want something to happen to... And then the thing just explodes. But she's got like this big perm.
Yeah.
And she's got like a microphone, like the one I'm holding in my hands right now, with a big spongy top to it. That has Bart Simpson's face on it. No, so I don't know. I was trying to think of something funny. That was all I could think of. Sorry. But it was like
what
on
about
fire.
Mr. Burns' dick on it?
I just was trying to cut you off with the past because I was like, if I say a microphone like I'm holding right now, he's going to come up with something awful that I'm holding.
Yeah.
So I'll just say something really funny. And then the first thing I thought was with Bart Simpson. But the only thing that would do is somebody go, does he have a microphone with Bart Simpson
you
on
could
it?
easily have one of them.
Like that's not funny. That's
like,
just possible.
You'd be like, oh, I don't know. I just love it. And then what happens? Her head gets blown off.
It doesn't get blown up, but like
Bang.
her hair is on fire. She's got like a singed, but she's like knocked out and she falls off the back of the truck and her microphone is also on fire. And she sued the BBC for, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or ITV or whatever station she was working for. But at the time, I was a little edgelord, so I was like, I have that, but with the Willem scream over it.
Oh, yeah. Someone sent me a video.
God.
The other way, my Instagram reel is just people getting hurt. And then it was
Various
like,
beheadings.
well, it is what I was about to say. It's,
Oh, shit.
you know, yeah. It sent me a video there. This is so funny. And it was like, this guy, and he's like stacking all these like big concrete like tubes.
Okay.
I don't know why. And anyway, one of them rolls off and he like ducks to try to get out of the way. And like he sort of starts climbing down this ladder and it just like rolls over his head and like just pulls his head off, just rolls it off. It's like, Jesus, need to see that. That's.
Who was sending you that? Was that the algorithm or was that
No, this was a friend of mine. And I was like, Jesus, I just like the ones where it's like a guy skateboarding and he falls down the stairs. You know, like,
yeah, that's
not just an industrial accident.
Well, I mean, an industrial accident, but it's also like you just saw somebody lose their life, man.
Yeah.
You know, like the videos that I like to watch are the ones where somebody like limps away.
Yeah,
you know? And,
exactly.
Like, it's left to our imagination that no, that leg never worked right ever again after that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
The idea of like this is the last moments of his life, and it's like, oh, this is actually really funny. It's like this is.
I know. It's like I was watching this compilation, and it was like this was a while ago, and it was 50 near-death experiences, and it's all this sort of stuff. Guy, nearly gets hit by a car, and then there's one where a guy just gets like plowed by a car. Like he just is like, and he's like so clearly dead. Like there's no way. And there was another one where it's like the guy just falls off a skyscraper. And it's like,
yeah.
These guys are just dead now. There's no.
I love when they do that. When somebody's like compilation of funny things, and then they say where nobody was hurt at all, and then he was like, somebody's obviously hurt.
Yeah.
They're not like, what are you talking about? Just like so. Oh, but I needed to get a round number 10. So
Yeah,
I just put in a
yeah.
few who actually died. Yeah.
I put in a guy getting shot in the head at point blank range.
There's one. Just remembering Will Sloan from the Michael and Us podcast talking about the Three Stooges compilations where they actually get hurt.
Uh-huh.
And Three Stooges compilations where they actually get hurt.
Yeah.
But one of them is like something awful, like they get hit with something. Like it's meant to be like it's got to handle this thing, and then you smack somebody over the head with it. But then they do it, and then like when they remove it, a piece of it is still in his head.
Whoa.
But they still have to like carry on the scene, like woo, boop, 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 boop. But it's like obvious that like this guy is injured. This guy.
That's horrible.
What was the other one with the? Yeah.
So we went to the premiere of the Damo and Ivor film.
Yeah.
And in it, there's Damo, there's Ivor, and they live with their granny.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He's
you
horny.
explained the origin.
Well, there's not much
Bebo.
more to the origin except
Bebo
that, like,
videos.
they made a Bebo video of like "Skanger My Banger," and it was all like the usual stuff of like punching down working class.
The comedy's only about
stereotypes.
punching up. That's what I was.
Yeah, so true. But it was like he had like the hat with the really long brim, the kind of fingless fringe, as they call it. They do call it that.
Hey, they call it that themselves.
They call it themselves. How come they're not allowed? How come I'm not allowed to use that word?
Yeah.
But anyhow, then I think on Republic of Telly they were like, can you come on and do some sketches, for the show?
You come on and
then
do
he
this
was like,
hilarious sketch you do where you make fun of people from Tara. Please, it's so funny. Their hair, I just love when you make fun of their hair.
Their stupid clothes,
their
way they talk.
Please,
Yeah,
it's so funny. And he's like,
it is really funny when RTE does that, where RTE are like, oh yeah, this is so funny, and then they're like putting on stuff which is just like, I'm a fucking, like, that's what they're like, though, isn't it? That's what they're fucking like.
Yeah.
You know it. Come on, we're all gonna find that. Like, what's not to laugh about this? one part of Dublin that has all the people that I hate. Somebody in Mallow is going to go crazy for it. Somebody in fucking, like anywhere you go in the country, they're thinking North Side. Those guys are like this.
Yeah.
And then wild.
You'll see the guy doing the interview. The guy who's doing the scumbag hate hour show. And then being interviewing the RT magazine, and he's just like, I just grew up around these guys. I grew up in Castleknock, but that's very near Blanchardstown. So these people were in my life, and I just thought it was funny to bring them onto the stage.
Yeah, that's exactly the fucking shit that they do. And one thing I didn't mention before, it might have been in previous episodes, but when we went in to pitch Ends Meet, the animated TV series I made with Mark Baldwin, one of the things that we had in the pitch package are we'll introduce the characters and we'll put them on social welfare cards, okay?
Yeah.
Like the social services card. I hope that I like to think that we were doing it affectionately, like these kind of people who were kind of down in their luck, Yeah,
you were it was name, Anto, occupation, scrounger.
Well, okay.
It's just an affectionate portrayal of Dublin life, Parents.
Okay, I know that this is a
parents
joke. Okay,
unknown, dad unknown, mum Jacinta.
So one of the episodes is about Sean Og is the kid in the family, and his dad Beezer. It's whatever Beezer. His name's Beezer. I know, but he is on the dole, and the episode is about Sean O getting shamed by a rich kid in school because his dad is on the dole.
Yeah,
and it's all there's a lot of, I don't know, whatever. I like to think that they dealt with those issues. I'm just saying, it wasn't it's a big old laugh, isn't it?
No, definitely
these people's
not.
expense. I hope not. But anyway,
sure. The other people who wrote it grew up in that, like that.
Yeah.
Or so I imagine.
I heard that Swords was an affluent area.
It's very mixed,
Yeah, okay, all right.
It's like Saudi Arabia. Yeah. There's the haves and the have-nots.
yeah. And that's not the only thing it has in common, James. I'm just putting you on the spot to be give me something else that Saudi Arabia and Swords have in common.
Swords for a start.
Yes.
They have swords. Let me keep going. Sand.
Sultans. There's sultans there. Something isn't there? I don't know.
Sultanas.
Haven't checked in a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Gins. And also
tonics. Okay.
Yes. So anyhow, we had the social services cards, the characters on them, and then the guy in RTA was like, "And what's this? What are these little things that they're on?" Never seen them before.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know. It's very revealing. They're very, very, very sheltered, and as far as they're you come back to them in about a few years' time, and you could hear them talking about stuff that happened on Damo and Ivor as if it happened in real life. They'll just be like, well, it's not beyond the realm of possibility to them that a Dave McSavage sketch is exactly what it's like.
Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah. I mean, they're it's funny because it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was Damo and there was Ivor.
So then they, for Republic of Telly, I believe, they introduced Ivor, who was meant to be the posh guy who would be the kind of counterpoint. And it would be, the sketches were essentially the usual shit that you would have seen back in that era, which would have been these guys do this and these guys do that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, and then eventually when it got turned into a show, then they became brothers and they introduced a narrative to the thing.
Yeah.
And they were brothers who were separated at birth. But the other claim to fame that it had is Rick Mayo played their dad.
What?
From the young ones.
What?
He played Ivor's dad anyway. Yeah.
Are you for real?
I am 100%. One of the
Rick
last
Mayo
things that Rick...
so funny. He's so good.
I mean... Yeah.
Bottom is one of my favorite shows. It's so good.
I'm just going to drop in here him being interviewed about the best job he ever had to just show you how cool Rick Mayall is.
I'll tell you, no, the best fucking film I've ever been in. It's not the film, because the film, with no respect at all, the film was shit. I'll tell you why. Long ago, all the kids at my kids' school are saying, "Oh, there, Rick, have you read Harry Potter? It's fantastic." I go, "What?" They say, "Harry Potter." I say, "What's that?" They go, "It's a book." "Oh, yeah, of course I've read it," which I hadn't. And my agent says, "Hey, Rick, you want to be in Harry Potter?" I said, "What, is it a book?" She said, "It's a film." I said, "Oh, it's my favourite book. Of course I want to be in it." I never read a word. And she says, "All right, you're in it." I go, "Fucking cool. What's the money?" She said, "Well, it's all right." So I did it. And I went and I fucking did it, right? And I played the part of... Hold on, it's coming back to me. He used to fly all over the place. And he was
it a poltergeist or something?
Peeves, that was his name. I was Peeves in Harry Potter. So I got sent off the set because every time I tried to do a bit of acting, all the lads who were playing school kids, they kept getting the giggles and kept corpsing, so they threw me off. Well, they asked me to do it with my back to them, and they still laughed. So they asked me to do it around the other side of the cathedral and shout my lines, but they still laughed. So they said, "We'll do it with someone else." I mean, the voice with somebody else. So then I did a little bit of filming, and then I went home and I got the money, significant. And then a month later they say, "Rick, sorry about this. What? You're not in the film." I go, "What?" So we've cut you out of the film. See, I think it was 3 weeks later. I was in the film for 3 weeks, and then they cut me out. So, but I still got the money. So that is the most exciting film I've ever been in, because I got the oodle, and I wasn't in it. So that was the best film I've been in, because I wasn't in it, and it was crap. It was crap, because I wasn't in it.
Movie was shit, and I still got paid. And I was so that should tell you also everything you need to know about presumably why he decided to be in Damo and Ivor season 1 and 2.
Okay. That's crazy.
I know. So that was my familiarity with Andy Quirk. I think I met him then at like a function. So in the Laugh Out Loud, the last one, Laughing episode, I mentioned going to the going away party for Eddie Doyle, and I met Andy Quirk, and so we got talking. We got some projects in the pipeline. We'll see how they go. No, but like he was like, "Oh, we made the movie," and so I was like, "Oh, okay." And so, what's the deal with the movie? And they're like, "Oh, we got a third brother in the movie." Oh, right. So like you got like a posh guy and a rich guy. So the third one is Traveller.
Yes.
And then I was like, "Oh."
So we went to the premiere, the world premiere.
We went to the premiere because Ends Meet shared a producer with that movie, and here's what she did as well. She was like, "Oh, we needed something on the telly in the background during the Damo and Ivor movie." So I just threw on some Ends Meet, and I was like, "No, now we're forever associated with that fucking movie."
And you begged for tickets. Yeah, we went to the Odeon in the Point.
Yeah, more like the ODS.
Yeah, and it was like
Star-studded.
I'm trying to remember the plot. So it starts off with a titular Damo, the titular Imer, and then they're like, the granny's kicking the boots, kicking the bucket, and she's like, "You have another brother, another brother from another mother, and it's a traveller.
Yeah, you need to go find him.
You need to go find him for some reason." And it's not what you call a dignified portrayal of a of a traveller. It's like the most racist thing. Like, he doesn't even speak English. Like, and he's not speaking. He's not speaking cant. Like, he's not. He's just not able to speak English.
No, it's like Brad Pitt from Snatch. It's like
not
that,
even,
but like
it's not even that. It's like,
well, the reason it's also not like that is because so in Brad Pitt and Snatch, they show up at like caravans and like actual halting sites.
Yeah.
Whereas when they find the Traveller brother,
what was his name?
I don't even remember.
Benton.
He's not in like a caravan. He's in like one of those, like a wagon. Like one of like, I think this is the correct thing to say. Excuse me if it's not. He's in a literal gypsy wagon, you know, that has like big cart wheels and like a horse dragging it along. And I was like, what in the world is
Yeah.
this? What is?
I know, and like he is like big brown teeth covered in plaque. He's like really dirty.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Neanderthal. Like
Yeah,
and
constantly fighting as well.
constantly fighting. Like does he attack them first thing?
Yeah, he does, and then they get into a fist fight with them.
Yeah, like it's just that. Like it's just him. He's like a wild animal.
Yeah.
And then can't remember the plot. Did they win a race or something?
Most of the I don't know if it's a I actually don't know. I think that they have to get him back to the house before their grandmother dies, but then the stuff that fills up most of the movie is like, oh, we went to a fun fair, we went here and we went there,
Yeah.
and then eventually the movie just ends. And then the funny thing about the movie ending as well is it like ends on a downer. Like the grandmother dies in this really tragic way, and he's like, Damo with his fucking stupid hat is like crying. Like they get this, and they have like this camera, like, you know, that kind of, it looks like some sort of kitchen sink. Could be a fucking Ken Loach movie in this
Yeah.
instant, where he's like crying and upset and like surprisingly manages to be like, he's quite good at crying and doing like this, you know, emotional moment, but it's in service of like a movie that's
Yeah.
shouldn't this just be this stupid, silly, especially racist thing if you're going to do it? Like, it'd be like the equivalent of Mrs. Brown's Boys movie that at the end of it, one of them dies and Mrs. Brown is just banging her fists against the
Yeah.
wall. Why? Like,
But then there's a bit where they all move in together,
yeah,
and the traveller goes, "I'm not a traveller anymore."
yeah.
Remember that?
Thankfully, thank
Like,
God.
It
Yeah.
is. It's supposed to be like, I've given up my wicked ways, and I'm not a traveller
Yeah,
anymore. And Dave was a kid as well. Kid's wearing a tracksuit, a big hat.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus wept. I just don't remember it at all. I don't remember it, but like that seems to be the last hurrah for Damo and Ivor, and then Andy Quirk disappeared into obscurity for a while. One other thing, really quickly to say about, well, okay, it's part of the same thing. All right, which is he over COVID started doing some kind of slightly conspiracy laced posting, and now it's just out and out far right rhetoric. But I just wanted to make a special note as well of who's the guy who plays the beardy fella in Hardy Books again. What the fuck? Martin something?
What?
I'm gonna look him up. Martin,
Eddie Durkin.
Eddie Durkin, but he's played by a guy called Martin something. Maloney. And he was also in the Damo and Ivor movie, playing a traveller. And he has also gone down a massive far-right conspiracy rabbit hole where he's got like a podcast on YouTube where he's talking to people about how men can't be men anymore and they're trying to emasculate us. And it's just a funny trend for like a lot of these former RTE stars. But anyway, here's the article written in extra.ie. Social, like, I don't know whether it's worth reading the article as much as it is worth reading his. The article provides some funny background for Andy Quirk, which we didn't mention there. But I'll just read the background so that we have it, okay? A social media channel for RTE's now defunct Damo and Ivor comedy series has launched a blistering broadside against the national broadcaster and is calling for people to withhold their license fee. The show was created by and starred Andy Quirk, heir to the Dr. Quirky's slot machine empire founded by his father. Yeah. So, former Garda Richard Quirk. His brother Wes is married to Miss World Rosanna Davison.
Wait, Dr. Quirky's was started by an ex-guard.
Apparently.
And his name is actually Quirk.
Yeah. They had, I don't know if they have the picture here, but like people were pulling up, there was some primetime segment or something that was made about his family or his brother or something.
Dr. Quirky's
and
was
they
open
pulled,
on Christmas Day.
is that it?
It was open on Christmas Day.
And so they made a segment about it or
No.
what? So in this segment, they include a bit of, I think, the then teenage Andy Quirk doing a parody of the TV show Cribs.
Yes.
Did you see this?
That is so good.
Have you seen the picture?
No. I'd say it's...
It is so much worse than you could possibly imagine.
It's amazing how he manages to be racist against Irish people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just his portrayal. It's not even just classist. It's like, somehow it's racist. Where
is this?
Send it to me.
Oh, I can't wait to send it to you. I'm giddy. So hold on.
Yeah, Cribs. I used to love Cribs, and then someone was like, they rent the houses. And I was like, no.
They can't, surely.
No, because then someone was like, there was one where it was like the Yin Yang twins, whatever their names are.
Okay.
Speaking of twins, the Yin Yang twins.
Actually, they're triplets. Are
they?
Damo and Ivor are triplets, so...
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't actually...
they were like, this is the marine room. And it was like, there's this room in their mansion. There's like an anchor hanging on the wall and mermaids. They were just seemed confused by the thing. They were like, I guess this is here. Like, didn't seem to know what was in their own house.
I always loved them.
Red Man. Is it Red Man? It was the...
Because I Got High? Is that him?
No, that's... Who's the one? Anyway, someone, and he just lives in like a shithole. And he's like, here's the PlayStation 2. It's like smashed on the floor.
I do love those ones. Like, I like the Moby's Loft was one that I liked.
Yeah.
It just felt like an actual house. And then there was one that when they did it in the UK, and then you got to see some really pathetic houses, But this guy was going around his house and there's like nothing in it. It's like nothing to write home about, But one of the things that he did was he was like, well, here's a good detail about this house. My pub is down the road there. So when I get a little rock, I can just hit the window and then the barman knows to start pouring my pint before I walk down. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But the ones that I liked are like the cribs for like rich kids, like children. Okay.
Yeah.
They would be like, my dad invented the answering machine. So here's my house. I have a giant T-Rex skeleton in my bedroom. Instead of stairs, I have a slide. And you're like, yay. This is the real shit, rather than opening up an empty fridge with a single bottle of Gatorade in it. And it's like, oh, we don't really have much in here at the moment. Yeah. All right, here's the picture. Everybody, I'm going to put it in the show notes underneath. James, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You can't hear it, but there is a drum roll happening. Zainab's here to see it as well.
How are you sending it to me?
I'm sending it over WhatsApp.
Okay.
Andy Quirk.
Oh, fucking hell. That's crazy. Like, there's blackface and then there's this. Like that's so racist. It's unreal.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I can't even laugh. I'm genuinely shocked. So it's your man, and he's wearing like acrylic face paint. Like it's such a weird matte face effect.
Mm.
And then he's just like loads of bling. The NY snapback with the thing underneath, the do-rag underneath. All the chains and the watch. That's
yeah.
Jesus.
So I would think it's well worth... it's a shame he's changed his pinned tweet now, but his Twitter account is tricolor, then Andy Quirk, a.k.a. Damo and Ivor, and then a tricolor, and then a blue tick for good measure. And then the header photo is a tricolor, And then his name is at Andy66205001. And then it goes, I love Ireland and the Irish people, tricolour. This is not just a flag. The Irish flag is what will save Ireland and unite the Irish people against tyranny.
Okay.
So let me see his pinned tweet. The reason for flooding... tricolour. The reason for flooding Ireland and other Western countries... They love the tricolour. The reason for flooding Ireland and other Western countries with known criminals and people with no identification is so they can create chaos, crime, and economic collapse. They're using them to gain more control over you. All done purposely to create another crisis for an excuse to replicate communist China. Trying to enforce digital IDs, CBDCs, anyway.
CBDs, oh no, that is.
Hey, sounds like something I had in a freaking gummy last night. And that's an important time to stop and say we're brought to you by CDBC's gummies.
Central Bank Digital Currency.
Okay. Facial recognition cameras, high-tech spyware, social and carbon credit systems, banning VPNs in certain websites, control all freedom of speech on and offline, remove all ownership, privacy, rights and freedoms, a cashless digital dictatorship. And then there's an arm holding a phone and then an X. All done under the guise of it's your health, safety, the greater good and the planet. The video shows the real problem and solutions that can genuinely help in their own country. And the video is of a guy on stage who's got a suit and glasses, so that means he's serious. And he has in front of him an arrangement of glass containers all containing gumballs, and some of them have stickers on the side that say China, South America, and various things. And now he's like moving them from container to container, presumably to talk about how immigration is unsustainable. There's the rest of Asia, India, Africa, Latin America. These are some of the labels on the gumball jars.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I just think
that is funny.
I love some guy who's part of the elite who's now activated himself against all of these things.
Yeah.
From I don't really get it, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
What's it again?
I don't know.
Sorry, just looking at Instagram reels.
What were you saying?
What's it again? Like I think what happens, it's like he is obviously part of the elite, but he's sort of fucked it up, you know? He's not getting work anymore. And then, like, I bet his dad's probably one of those guys, like, they're such a type where they become millionaires, you know, but because they used to be normal or even a guard, they still consider themselves part of the, like, you know, they're like the little guy, you know. So he's just there listening to his dad banging on about how hard he has it. And he's like, yeah, I have it hard too. My show didn't get renewed. And then he just transforms that into like, I'm actually the oppressed one, you know?
Yeah.
It's like your man, Eddie Durkin.
Oh, yeah. A lot of this is like, I have no taste and I dress like shit. Therefore, I must be broke and working class. It's like, you have a bunch of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could, if you wanted to, like I just know. I just don't know how you feel so embattled all the time.
Yeah.
Being so comfortable. I just got distracted by his post because it goes, Rick Mail was a great friend. Very funny, super intelligent, and very awake. Yes. 1 by 1 was the last production he worked on. I remember talking to him about it in Damo and Ivor scripts the day before he passed away. Sad face. In case anybody was wondering,
what a horrible way to go. Thinking about Damo and Ivor.
Yeah. In case anybody was wondering, I don't regret speaking out. In fact, I wish I did it sooner. The people that have badmouthed me behind my back is water off a duck's back. I can't be bought or guilted into shutting up. I would do it all over again tomorrow. Tricolour. I'm trying to find the one where like people are having a go at him and talking about his...
What's his X handle?
His X handle is... Let me get this right. At Andy 662025001.
Wait, at Andy 662. Oh, here we go. Andy Quirk, aka David and Ivor. What a maniac. The only genuine crisis we have is a brainwashing crisis.
Yes.
No one's talking about it.
Andy, do you know much about XRP crypto? Tricolour. World Economic Forum are behind XRP Ripple. XRP will spike in price when they announce it just based on hype, but then it will get boycotted worldwide. Icon of a graph.
The Commitments, the best film ever made. See that one?
Yeah, I'm seeing because he's also talking about Waking Ned.
Yeah, Drop Dead
That's
Fred.
a great movie.
You have to
Drop
watch
Dead.
it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So there's an article by Shane Ross in the Irish Independent says, sack the entire RTE board. After all, it wouldn't be the first time. And Andy responds, propaganda is what killed RTE. Nobody is paying for WEF and corrupt government propaganda. RIP, gravestone emoji, RTE.
You read out the United Ireland one, did you? Or did you?
What was that? Did I?
I can't remember. The whole United Ireland narrative is corrupt governments, carrot on a stick to keep the Irish people coming forward into the global communism trap. Carrot... I don't know what that is. Carrot goat Irish flag. United Ireland will happen, but not through these corrupt parties. Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Green Party, PBP, LP. What's LP?
LP. Something party, presumably?
Yeah, LP.
Yeah. Me and LP do the secret handshake.
Me and LP do the secret handshake.
There's nothing like the Liberal Party or something, is there? No. Labour Party.
Fuck's sake. How did that take so long? I've just seen it be abbreviated to LAB.
Yeah, I've never seen LP. Have all got World Economic Forum globalist in each party. They want to give the whole country away to globalist elites and enslaving the Irish people. Well, I'll tell you, it's now United Ireland, especially traitors like Mary Lou MacDonald, Sinn Féin. If evolution will happen, it's only a matter of time. And then someone in the comments says, look up Colin Harvey. He's the one writing the new communist constitution. Are you looking it up?
Well, right, I will now. I was going to look up Martin Maloney to see what he was saying. Colin Harvey.
Yeah.
I love when they mention these people and then you just go, who the fuck is that? And they're like, they are the people controlling this. They're pulling the strings. I was like, what the fuck?
And they have like 2,000 followers or something.
Colin Harvey on Twitter, CJ Human Rights. So I think could be wrong. It was loading, but he's a human rights lawyer.
Right.
No, he's a professor at Queen's University Belfast. Commissioner at the International Human Rights and Equality.
There's a guy in his comments, Taxi Dave, right? And it's only relevant. You go to the bio. Proud co-founder of Irish taxi drivers for iRexit.
Okay.
That's not worth putting in your bio. That you co-founded the most specific political movement of all time.
Yeah, I actually co-founded that as well. And he was like, no, you didn't. It was like, prove otherwise.
Yeah.
Try and find somebody.
And supporter of East Wall Heroes. Who are the East Wall Heroes?
Those are the ones who they all demonstrated in East Wall for some, I think either outside a place that was housing migrants or...
Oh, yeah.
But they went... That got a lot of notoriety for some reason. And so when there was a fascist demonstration down in Cork by the National Party, where I was at the counter demonstration, and they had a bunch of signs there saying East Wall is full and all this type of shit. And obviously people in Cork were like, get the fuck out. Like most of them were just tubs.
Yeah, it's such a weird ecosystem here, isn't there?
I know. Yeah, no, just very peculiar. A lot of people have been cracked. I do think that this is probably what happens when you stay indoors for a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Martin Maloney's Instagram is not revealing enough for me. Where's that other podcast he had?
Terrorism and suicide glorification and promotion of economic policy has killed... of an economic policy that has killed 100 million people. Richard Boyd Barrett's focus on Gaza seems to have coincided with a sharp decline in mental health in Dún Laoghaire. And then there's some pictures of posters that he's obviously spotted around Dún Laoghaire.
That's very strange.
What?
Martin Maloney seems to have just like... I can't find any of the mad conspiracy shit he was posting before.
Did he get rid of it, do you think?
It doesn't seem to be on his Facebook, and then he had a podcast that was on YouTube, and I can't seem to find that now either, so I'm just going to type in... Oh, Martin Maloney on Blind Boy. Do you want to hear this?
Yes, please, yeah.
And there's not an awful lot going on there, but it's kind of like, it's basically just... I know. But look at fucking Blind Boy Boat Club from Rubber Band.
That's his real
He
voice.
does nothing on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yet that lad's making 30 fucking grand euro at minimum per month. Do you know what I mean? And like, he's just reading fucking Wikipedia articles and making like middle of the road observations. Like, no disrespect to him, like, but it's like at least for me, I'm fucking bearing my soul on a truthful, open and honest way. So, but listen, I'm working on. Well, like Blind Boy asks for money every week in his podcast. Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, I was like, what do you? He was like, oh, I can't get sponsorships, and I was like, what are you on about? You couldn't. You're making fucking 30 grand a month, and you're complaining like you don't have sponsors as well. I mean, how much money do you need? I'm a divorcee with 2 kids and a dog.
I'll stand on that and take a picture.
Okay. Well, listen, everyone. And there's no disrespect to Blind Boy about that, but it's just like, mate, you're pretty much living a bourgeoisie lifestyle in the liberal media elite of Ireland. Like, it's, like, fucking throw me a touch, and I'll. No, I'm not. Anyway, look, I'm talking shite. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
I like it because that is basically what we do, but also like he's recording it. He's in Stockholm, by the way. That's where he lives now. And he's clearly walking with his kid, and for some reason has decided to record himself giving out about Blind Boy.
Yeah.
That'll be us if we ever get any money. We'll just still be talking about Blind Boy, and our kids be like, Daddy, hold on, I'm just recording. And he's doing it for not like, did he not have enough already? You know?
Yeah. But we do it in a leftist way, you know?
Yeah. Although in that instance, he did say basically, there's another one of the Hardy books. He was like a late edition, but he's a mad racist as well. And he appears on, there he is, that guy there.
The Yank. I can't see that's very small.
Sorry, it's very small. That guy there.
Yeah, that's the Yank.
Is he American?
No, he plays the character of the Yank.
Oh, right. I don't, but he's like,
he's
mad
still
racist.
Yeah, he's the one who seems to own the brand. Or not own it, but he's like continue the brand. Like he has a podcast and he goes around. I think he does the 3 Books Left.
Yeah.
Series.
The 3 most racist books left. Back on the shows already. We haven't even updated. Do they have anything?
And he played such a small part, you know.
Yeah. I don't even know him. I would have stopped watching the show around that time, I guess.
He's in like the Mitzi Turbo one, but like he's literally just on. You know, he's doing a dance and singing. Like he's he's never really a character on it. He wouldn't be as big as like SIM Card.
No,
you know that
that's
character?
not the one Kevin McGahern played, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
he wouldn't be as big a character as him.
He was in something else. No, sorry, there's another one. He wouldn't be as big as Salmon. That's
Who's Salmon again?
the big one with the glasses.
Oh yeah,
the kind of dopey looking guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at Martin Maloney's YouTube page. Mel C's tasty enough to be fair. Title of one of these.
It's Mel C.
Mel C.
Oh.
Talking about how she's hot. Oh wow. He did an episode of Dave McSavage.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bookmark that for later. That's 4 years ago though, so that's before he became a mentaler. Because Owen Colgan is there as well. I'm pretty sure Owen Colgan would have nothing to do with them these days.
Really?
Yeah, I just think, well, I could be wrong, but I think he's very different. Yeah. Fred Cook's there. Okay, this is odd. I remember that he was actually... Now, this is going to be like lost to time, okay? But there was a link that was posted on Facebook during the repeal of the 8th, the referendum to repeal the 8th, and he was anti-choice.
I bet.
I
bet.
Yeah. All right. Will Tucker Carlson interview Big Bad Vlad 13 days ago?
Radker.
No, Putin. Did you see the interview with Putin?
I didn't watch it, but I was reading about it. He just talked about Russian history for the whole thing.
Yeah. He there was some good bits where he like razzed Tucker Carlson for being in the CIA. That was funny.
That is funny.
And then he or for failing to get into the CIA, I should say. Which is a deep cut for anybody. Like, just the fact, I love Putin, just like, I actually know about you. I know you tried to get in the CIA and you couldn't do that. So now you're here, I guess.
Yeah.
And, which is a real Trump thing to do, but also Trump, if he were like, even at all, because Trump will be like, Ron DeSanctimonious, he's, yeah, God, isn't he so, folks, he's such a, and he has nothing. He just is like going off of vibes.
Yeah.
Whereas like Putin will be like, oh yeah, remember when you did this? You know, remember when you pissed yourself in second year in school? He'd be like, how do you know that? Yeah, people don't forget. Idiot.
I was reading about the new pictures. I was reading about the referendum. You know, that we're having.
Yeah.
The women in the home one.
A woman's place is in the home. You know, Gilbert O'Sullivan.
But I believe a woman's place is in the home.
Have you looked up the wording?
Yeah, I did.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me get it up. Woman referendum.
Woman. I'll just read out an Andy Quirk tweet while you're doing that. Okay. Jesus, fuck, that's long. I'm not reading that one.
What?
That was too long. I'm not reading that one. After we throw out this corrupt government, tractor emoji, farmer emoji, farmers need to legally get a set strong percentage, percentage of whatever the goods sell for in the shops, and 80% of all food needs to be produced in Ireland. Steak emoji, frying pan emoji, carrot emoji, broccoli emoji, apple emoji, potato emoji, onion emoji, chicken emoji, cheese emoji, bread emoji,
He's just
leek emoji, and then garlic emoji, and that's it.
He's just listing all the foods he wants in the shops. That's so funny. So the marriage one, I don't care. You know,
sorry,
very straightforward.
Andy Quirk just sharing fucking Graham Linehan. So anyway, there you go.
So it's
two comedy giants.
What?
Two comedy giants.
Yeah. You really think so? The Care Amendment. Okay.
Yeah.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah, written by John Grisham, right?
I don't know. What do you mean?
The Care Amendment.
Oh,
Written by John Grisham, adapted into a major motion picture with John Cusack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. It's called the Care Amendment. Maybe just do that for everything you say.
Yeah.
It's becoming very mean-spirited. Okay. Yeah. Right, anyway. So, in particular, the state recognizes that by her life within the home, the woman gives the state a support without which the common good cannot be achieved.
Mm.
The state shall, therefore, endeavour to
The
ensure...
common good.
What?
I'm just doing a Hot Fuzz reference. The common good.
The state shall... Oh, right, yeah. The state shall, therefore, endeavour to ensure that mothers shall not be obliged by economic necessity to engage in labour to the neglect of their duties in the home.
Mm-hmm. And we're changing that to what?
Well, so I think what's interesting there is that it does two things, and it does three things. Like, it's acknowledging that, like how, like, the rearing of a family is work.
Mm-hmm.
And that it sort of has an economic value. And that if someone wants to devote their life to it, they should be economically supported to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, the only issue with it is that it shouldn't just be women.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's the issue. So, now the state don't do that. Like, there's most women can't just live at home and look after the kids. They have a economic necessity to work. So they want to change it to the state recognizes that the provision of care by members of a family to one another by reason of the bonds that exist among them gives to society a support without which the common good cannot be achieved, and shall strive to support such provision. They get rid of this idea that, like, they should be economically supported, or that, like, you shouldn't have, you know...
Yeah.
The similar translation would be, or, like, if you're just getting rid of the gender bit, it would be something like, the provision of care by family members is important to the common good, and the state, and they should not be obliged by economic necessity to engage in labour to the neglect of this duty.
Mm.
So it should be like, if your mom is sick and you're looking after her, you should be helped do that economically. You're actually getting rid of this idea that, like, you should be economically supported.
Yeah.
It just says we're going to help in whatever way we see fit.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not going to be economically.
Yeah.
And one way it doesn't matter because they just ignore this bit of the Constitution anyway.
Yeah.
But
it is really quite a statement. Sorry. Just, you know, like, it's not a passive thing to remove that part.
No.
You're making it clear. You're just like, we don't, like, I don't know. I guess I was trying to figure out why are they doing it, and then the way I thought is that, like, you know, we talked about this before. Helen McEntee was kind of positioned to be the successor to Varadkar. You know, she's young, she's a woman, she's got family. You know, she could be the next big thing, and we'll give her that. Coco's Law is one of the things. You know, and the maternity leave. I know I'm the only one ever bringing it up, but like, it's the type of red meat that the papers love to talk about.
What's Coco's Law?
That's
like
the image-based sexual.
Gorillas have to speak sign language.
Yeah. Coco is not allowed to sign offensive, racist, sexually provocative messages to.
Yeah.
Anyway, they then. Yeah, like remember there was a squad car gets stolen in Tala, and then she shows up and she's all kind of like, "This is horrendous."
Yeah, she's like Damo did it.
Yeah, we know where to get him, and then
yeah, Granny's house.
If they're still living there, I don't, and because like when she dies, who owns the house then? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's it. I wonder if they can afford to pay the death tax.
These are all things that would have been answered in a sequel had Andy Quirk not gone fucking mental. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, chicken and egg. Which came first? You know.
They would have discovered a fourth twin who's a politician.
Yeah. Fradker would have been the fourth brother.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, what's the next one going to be? Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it'll be a woman.
Yeah, it's amazing they didn't go woman, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. I think if they made a sequel, it would be a woman, or it'd be like a. What's another one?
Just fan casting Damo and Ivor 2.
Yeah.
Wow, wouldn't it be great? Yeah. Do you think that they could get like Carrie Mulligan or something?
So you have Scumbag, you have Posh Guy, you have Traveller.
Yeah.
Would it be? It'd be like Granny leaves in her will. She's like, there's actually a fourth twin. He was adopted by Syrians, and he came back into Ireland through direct provision. And they're like, he's in Monster Heaven.
Yeah,
you have to go find him.
Yeah, it goes natural, poor lad, rich lad, traveller, terrorist.
Yeah, he would be a terrorist. He would. He'd be like in ISIS.
All right, I'm going to see if somebody wrote up the plot for the Damo and Ivor movie, because I'm like, I wonder if they actually put in that there was a fourth one, because that sounds like something that would happen in the movie.
Yeah, he'd be a terrorist, and he'd also be wearing a burqa. Like, and they bring him round. I don't know.
So, yeah, I was just going to say that they were trying to position her to be the person that would take over, and I think that amendments like this are kind of nice little sops, essentially. Like, it could be, let's remove the gendered language, and I was like, well, what does that mean? Oh, no, it doesn't really. We're not going to do anything. Okay, well,
yeah.
How do I get excited? Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's an election year. What do you expect me to do? Something? I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so here it is. Do you want it or not? And then to go, like,
it just annoys me. Like, the way it's been promoted is like, we're just removing gender language.
Yeah,
but it's actually like, we're removing like any compulsion to support people economically for the common good. You know what I mean? It would always make me vote no, because I'd be thinking like, it's better for women to have this, even nominally, than for no one to have it. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to find, there's a second part to it that actually made me pause a little more.
Pause. And like, because it just seems, and I don't think this is conspiratorial thinking, it's like that line, and we shall strive to support such provision. Like, it just means that you try to, like, you sue the state for some right, you know, for some provision, and they're like, we just don't, like, we're not obligated to support that, you know?
It is the most Vradker thing ever, isn't it? Where it's like an allegedly progressive thing that actually does more harm than good. Changing the gendered language. Well, that can only be good, can't it? Yeah, and then also removing the part where we have any obligation to each other whatsoever. You're like, oh, well, fuck. Like such thin gruel.
I know. Like, just again, if they just said, the carer or the parent has what was it? If they said in particular, the state recognises that by their life in the home, the carer gives the state a support without which the common good cannot be achieved. Like, that's true to say, Like, people who care for their family or for people in their life, like that, that's completely necessary for society to function. And it is, like, economically taken for granted,
Yeah. I'm trying to find this. Where is this? When did we ask this? Oh, it's the Electoral Commission. Oh, yeah. So here's the part. Sorry, that I was like, oh, this is. So in the original wording, the state pledges itself to guard with special care the institution of marriage on which the family is founded and to protect it against attack. And I was like, attack? Oh, yeah, that's some wording that needs to be changed there. That's pretty archaic. And here's what they're planning to change it to. The state pledges itself to guard with special care the institution of marriage and to protect it against attack. I was like, so they remove the part on which the family is founded and keep the part where it's under attack. Is that not like some weird conservative thing of like, the institution of marriage is under attack by these outside forces? And it's like, I don't know whether you should even get necessarily special treatment just because you're married as well, Like, I get the thing, but like, well, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't. I mean, because like people who have kids, you should have child support. You should, if you're, families should be protected and encouraged, but you don't need the institution of marriage to have a family,
Yeah, but they're getting rid of that. As in, it says whether founded on marriage or other durable relationship. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, just the second part. They pledged itself to God with special care of the institution. Yeah, like, it is such a weird holdover, isn't it? Like, just because you're married, like, there are plenty of people who aren't married, who don't even live together, but like, they support their kids just as well,
It's just this thing. I'm just trying to get this idea of like Fine Gael, when confronted with, well, this does nothing and I don't like it. And it's like, how dare you? How dare you speak to me? They just get like indignant about it and just being like, no, well, you have to vote for it, obviously, and like, there's that feeling of like, they just hate having to do anything and then being challenged on not doing anything. And I know the main response is usually, well, let's see if Sinn Féin do any fucking better.
Yeah. And it's funny how that attitude just goes all the way down. Like,
speaking
of The Simpsons, there's that Fine Gael councillor. I don't actually know if he's councillor. The fat loser who looks like Martin. And he lives at home.
Fat loser looks like a Oh, yeah! God, it's been so long since I thought about him.
What's his name?
David McManus.
Yeah. And,
oh my God, what's he up to?
I can't remember if he ever got elected or if he's just running again.
He's a councillor.
Yeah. But he, I don't know. I'm trying to remember his constituency. It's obviously South County Dublin or something. But he, and he on Valentine's Day, he put out this leaflet, and it was like Valentine's themed, and it was about the upcoming elections, and he was like, do the other councillors not call you enough, like leaving you feeling lonely sort of thing? And then he goes, and then the article
here it is, I found it.
The article goes, it blazes with these song lyrics, and the song lyrics were never gonna lift you up, never gonna let you down. Like, it was the Rick Roll, like it was the Rick Ashley song. And then, like, what a fucking loser. Like, he's trying to, he's like, wouldn't this be epic if I worked in the Rick Ashley theme? Like, from literally 17 years ago. I remember sending the Rick Ashley thing to people on MSN.
Gotcha.
And then, but anyway, apparently he was also blaming Sinn Féin for stuff. And it's just like, you just focus on being your own sort of loser. Like, don't bring Sinn Féin in. No? Just like...
It's unusual. It's his David McManus, his Twitter profile, except it's all caps. David McManus tricolour. It's like, what the fuck? It's very, like, a tricolour in your bio says quite a lot. It, like, says something.
Really not a Fine Gael thing either.
No. But surprisingly, it says, you might also like Barry Ward. I don't. But he also has a tricolour in his bio, in his, like, username. Weird.
Yeah. Is this supposed to be like an anti-immigration thing?
I don't know.
Like, you wouldn't put it past.
There's a pinned tweet. That's the one from 2021 where he fails to rip up Owen O'Brien's housing policy. So he's got that pinned. I want to read out some of his tweets because they are actually very funny.
That's just do it again. Like, just it's just the thing of like record a second video. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, good enough. They'll get the idea. No one can rip up paper.
Mom, I have to go. The shops are closing. That's probably why there wasn't a second take. So yeah, he does. I do have the Rick Astley thing, which says, "Have other public representatives lost interest in you? When was the last time they called? Relationships are built on trust, open communication, and commitment. Councillor David McManus is here for the long term, in good times and bad. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Putting you number one." I just want to give you David's record. David McManus's record.
I've already heard
support.
It.
Support.
It's called Rick Astley.
Yeah. It's called... is it actually just called Never Gonna Give You Up? Never mind. All right, sorry about that. David McManus's record. Supporting hardworking families and local businesses.
No, he's not.
Action on housing.
None.
Nope. Prudent spending. Okay.
I'll give you that one. Prudent.
Yeah.
Another word for miserly. Yeah.
Protect community green spaces. 30 minutes free parking.
30 minutes free. He didn't say that, did he?
He did.
30 minutes free parking. That's so funny. Like, that's literally like, that's nothing. That's literally nothing.
One thing I forgot to explain about David McManus is when he so like he has stupid hair, so if you look him up, that's the first thing you see him. Another thing is he tried to do a Radker style kind of like, you know, edgelordy conservative talking point and get right up in the media, and he said that giving people child support was like paying people to have sex.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And everybody was like, "What? Shut up!" And then he's like, "Oh, apologize for my comments earlier." And And then another one that's like probably his biggest hit was when he did a picture of a street lamp and was like, "Let there be light." And so there was a street lamp on his road that was broken and needed the light bulb replaced. And he was celebrating taking a picture of it and saying, "Well, it's now a year and a half later and I finally did it. I got a bulb replaced." And it just goes to show. And people are like, that took you a year? You're a councillor.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a bulb fucking repaired on your own road?
And like, if I was a councillor, I just do that myself. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be that hard. And but to be like, it took me 5 years to replace it.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
I just want this other thing on. Yeah.
Local councillors' Instagrams are just the stupidest thing. Like,
I know.
I follow a guy, Michael Pigeon, and his is like unusually sweet, and it's still
really
shit as hell. Like,
sorry, they've got broken hearts next to this. So these are like, I have no, like, he doesn't say what this is. It's just broken hearts next to stuff like. He's just decided to throw shade at a bunch of people, which is like par for the course with the mean kind of Radker politics that he.
But I think he's throwing shade at the other Fine Gael politician.
No, not Fine Gael. It's the usual shit.
Sinn Féin.
It's just like, if you're going to put out a post to go on Valentine's Day, you're like, here's all the stuff that I've done. Okay, cool. It's like already obnoxious enough what you've done, and then you go, and here's the other shit that they didn't do.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Here's what
Nobody's
I'd do.
convinced by this.
I'd spunk your
yeah.
condom, and I'd be like, here, what would I do? What would I do then?
What would you do?
I just got so excited by the first bit.
Yeah.
Take a picture of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I go, I've done that, now I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, that's not what he's written. He's written, councillors from Labour Party, Greens and Soc Dems have voted to increase your property tax. Broken vows. Sinn Féin councillors have voted against council management plans for Dublin. 1,200 homes Donabeedy, 1,000 homes O'Devany Gardens. Shut the fuck up. 975 homes. Just seeing O'Devany Gardens again is so triggering, isn't it?
Yeah.
975 homes Clondalkin. I'm just going to skip over.
To be like O'Devany Gardens is a good thing. You know what I mean?
He's saying that they voted against homes there, and it's like,
yeah,
this is from 2018, and they didn't like
O'Devany Gardens. He's like, they should have fucked that up, you know?
Yeah. Wasteful spending. Councillors from Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin, Labour Party, Greens, and Soc Dems voted for €240,000 webcams. What are you? Don't know what that is. In 2022, councillors from Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin, Labour Party, Greens voted to cut tree maintenance by €500,000.
No.
Not the
this. Well, here's one condom they didn't fill.
And then this last tweet here. Well done, Michelle O'Neill, elected First Minister in House of Commons, Northern Ireland.
Good to see you reach across the aisle.
Well, wait for it. Provisional Sinn Féin now claim to support free market economy, free state army, and non-jury courts against dissident IRA. It took my party 50 years, but we finally have Provost towing the line.
Let's read that again.
Well done, Michelle O'Neill, elected First Minister in House of Commons, Northern Ireland, which I think is already wrong, isn't it?
Sorry. First, I don't know why. I just keep getting so confused by just read that one more time.
Well done, Michelle O'Neill, elected First Minister in House of Commons, Northern Ireland. Provisional Sinn Féin now claim to support free market
Why is he
economy.
calling them provisional? That's such a I know why he's doing it, but
yeah.
House of Commons, Northern Ireland.
Now claim to support free market economy, free state army, and non-jury courts against dissident IRA.
That's so funny.
Party.
Sorry.
Yeah.
House of Commons, Northern Ireland was the lower house of the Parliament of Northern Ireland, created under the Government of Ireland Act 1920.
Yeah.
It was abolished in 1973.
Wow.
Yeah, go on.
Oh shit.
What?
Eep. I need to call some lady.
About what?
This lady, she messaged me about something. I need to get it's something to do with potentially teaching kids with autism animation.
Oh, cool.
Which would be great. Free market economy, free state army, non-jury courts against this, whatever. Look, that's enough of that. Not for him. He's a funny fella. Little tyke. It's good to see him, out and about again.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Is there any other good news? What time? How much have we recorded? Sorry to do this to you.
I don't know.
Would it be okay if I jumped off to take this call just because now it's on my mind?
Yeah.
Because I did say I'd be free at 4 and she rang there and I didn't pick up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's so many good things. All right. Okay, fine. Sorry. It's short.
Peace out.
Appreciate it. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.